Hello, hello, my lovely galactic ones. Thank you so much for being here and for listening. I am again super excited about this episode. I know I'm excited every time, but it's just so exciting. And if there were another word for it, which there are, but it's the most accurate one. So I thought to myself, well, it was an intuition, it was a hit, right? So I do my best to always follow those. And I thought, why not record a live session where I'm actually coaching someone so that you, my dear listeners, can get the experience of what it's like to be coached and to move through a space when you are guided and your energy is the space is held for you and expanded for you actually, and allowed to expand in a way where you can see the truth, your truth, for yourself in the moment. And whatever it is that you are wanting to explore or address in a session, it can be led in such a way where things are illuminated, your perspective is shifted or expanded to where on your own you may not be able to get there. Or it may just be a slower process. And for myself, of course, it was a bit vulnerable because here I am doing the intimate work, and it is an intimate, sacred experience that I honor, and I am so grateful for my lovely coachee, Megan, who also showed up fully in the space of being vulnerable and sharing whatever was coming up. And in order to do that, we both came to the session to really play full out and know that whatever was coming up was exactly what was meant to come up, and she was going to get what she needed out of the session. And so I just want to thank her so much for being so open to share this with all of you, because I know it's going to help you, because we talk about things in this session, we explore things that so many people, so many galactic beings and human beings experience in this lifetime, where our initial intention was to explore financial abundance and organization for Megan, which we did talk about some of that. But what happened was we were able to go to the actual root of it, right? What's deeper than just talking about finances, because everything is connected. It's all connected. So, just to have a conversation about money would not have really been serving. So you'll see in this episode what happens when we actually take a dive to the source of what's happening. And I don't really like to use the word blocks, because I don't, blocks, when you say, oh, I have a block around something, it kind of perpetuates that you have a block around something, right? And as you'll see in this episode, we talk about how you were already whole, complete, amazing, divine, you are infinite. And so it's really what I do in this session is I really lead Megan through the experience of being infinite and what that's like in human form. So we talk about her, we talk about the doubts that she has around how she can serve people, and she has these amazing, wonderful gifts in this business, and she talks about, having doubts of, oh, can I really help people? And coming from a place of being a coach and being someone who serves people, I can understand that. And if you are yourself a coach, a healer, practitioner of any kind, you absolutely get this. When your heart is coming from a place of, I just want to help people, you often ask the question, am I really helping people, right? And I think that if you are asking yourself that question, am I able to do it? Can I do it? Then the answer is absolutely yes. So we talk about, how can you navigate those thoughts of, am I good enough to do this? We talk about, she wanted to define some of her offerings for her clients and what's the next step in supporting them in more of a long-term way. And so we talk about how she can begin the process of designing and creating that to best serve her clients. We talk about the distraction of health challenges, and for her specifically, food allergies. We go through a guided meditation actually for her to experience the absolute infinite and then bring it back into being a human being and how that affects your choices, your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions that you make. And we also touch on, how losing her mom 7 years ago, she had sort of a breakthrough around how that was linked to the situation she's experiencing now around wanting to create more abundance for herself, being able to serve at a deeper level, at a higher level. So I really hope you'll join us for this session, this conversation. Really, it's a conversation, and it's raw and it's real, and it's exactly what I would do with a person who is coming to me in an initial powerful conversation. And at the end, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to let you know how you can sign up for your own powerful conversation with me. Okay, we'll see you on the other side. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Okay, hello, Megan.
Hello.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your willingness to do this session and make it available for other people. And I know that folks who are touched by this will also be so grateful. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. And thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, my pleasure. Okay, so for today's session, we're going to start somewhere and just kind of see where we go. So I like starting my sessions with just asking you what would make this a really powerful session for you?
For me, I know we had a little, quick kind of behind the scenes messaging about the topic. Mm-hmm. For me, I feel like I know a lot of the blocks and reasons behind not being in the flow of abundance, the prosperity component of life. And yet I still feel like, I think I explained it, like I feel like I have my full suit on, ready to get into the game. It's football season right now. So that's my uniform, my pads, my helmet. But where are my shoes? Like, I know I need them, but where are they? Why aren't they on my feet? And finding my shoes, for lack of better way of saying that, would be really quite a pivotal moment for me.
Okay, where are my shoes? So what would that mean? Like, what would life look like if you could find your shoes?
To me, it would be like the natural progression in, if I can even say, existing. I'm a creative individual. I have these abilities to help, others connect and really gain a sense of peace through some of the craziest times of their lives. And I do that through different modalities. But that next step of really connecting with people to do that, it's like I'll fall short with, well, what's that next step I'm supposed to take? Or even being on top of my own finances. I keep everything, as far as receipts and information, but I don't consistently follow through with just staying organized. And to me, it feels more than just, I'm scattered and I'm busy. It's almost like there is this, I don't feel like I don't deserve, the prosperity flow or to follow through or finish, but there feels like maybe there is something hidden and I'm just not getting it. Like, why can't I find my shoes? Why can't I just follow through with staying on top of my paperwork, or following through with connecting better on a more consistent basis with people I can help? So there is that exchange going on a more consistent basis. I use the term scattered and splattered. It's like, I know what to do, but I don't necessarily follow through. So I don't feel unworthy or undeserving, or, like there's a karmic kind of guilt involved in any of it. It's just like things that make you go, like, you're on it. Like, why is, I promote it. I explain to others how deserving they are. Like, am I just holding it back from myself? And it's, it's like when you tell someone it's right, open the refrigerator, it's right there, and they can't see it. And then you open the refrigerator and the milk's right there. Like, I feel like it's that simple, yet, that's little, but that's huge. It's really a monumental piece for me.
Yeah. So just to be clear, I want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying. It feels to me like you have so many wonderful gifts to offer the world, and how you support people, how you help them through, their processes. And it sounds like when it comes to asking for a request of appreciation, asking for that next step, that's in addition to like organization and all that, but I think that's just kind of a symptom of what's happening. But when you go, you're not quite making that next step of asking for a bigger request, versus just, because I know you make, I have the pleasure of having one of your beautiful headbands. It's amazing. I love it so much. Oh my God, it's such an amazing, unique gift. But that's a one-time thing, right? That's something that pays for. And then, so maybe there's, it's probably a combination of like creating systems and processes around that, but what is keeping you from doing that, right? That's kind of the question.
Yes.
So do you, and tell me what other services you have, Megan, so I know.
I do a lot of things, like I do a lot of tangible things. I make gem elixirs with essential oils and gem infused water. They're just more support tools to help in that aromatherapy kind of way. I make gemstone jewelry. I create works of art in everything from actually painting to pastels, markers. And I've used that as a way to really help me focus when I'm making the bridge between the human and their soul. So it's a way to help communicate that experience. And then I call them soul prints. And then I do what I call soul sessions, which again would be more like a guided meditation. It has a similar concept to Reiki sessions, that energy movement, Metatronia therapy, where I speak with a person and kind of do a body scan and just help get that flow of energy moving in a way where information from their own soul can come forward, and they just deepen and develop further that soul connection.
Great. That sounds amazing. And so what is it that you want? What is it that is your ideal in terms of taking that next step with your clients? What is it that would be ideal for you?
Well, it's interesting because as I was talking about all that, when you use the word like one and done, it's so funny. It's like I crave that depth of interaction, yet I immediately, when you said that, felt that fear of under delivering, like falling short of the person's expectations. And to me, that's kind of like the ding, 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 definitely one of the components, if there are more or not, but it's really understanding how to develop a consistency that would be beneficial for someone who really just needs an elixir because it's stressful at work and they want to help clear the air. No big deal. To the person who's going through traumatic experiencing or recovering from a traumatic experience that would need a little more time and attention, where a spray would help along with like a soul session that's done on a weekly basis for X amount of weeks. I don't have anything set in stone because it's been difficult for me to box a person in. We're all so different. A paper cut can be traumatic to somebody if it hits in the right place at the right time. And just taking a few deep breaths are fine. Others need to talk about it for 3 sessions. So it's been difficult for me to kind of develop any kind of pattern with it. And then also, like I said, I could feel just through us speaking about it, there's that fear of, can I really help anyway? Like in the expectation that they have from my services. So maybe I hold back. So I'm not following through. I'm not setting these things up. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love that your awareness around just talking about it, you're getting all this stuff. And that's exactly what I'm getting too. It's that, you want this next step to be able to take with your clients and really serve them at a deeper, higher level, yet there's no system in place to actually make even an offering yet.
Right.
So, yeah. So, and the coming from, a place, I mean, I am also a provider. I provide a service, and I know at the beginning of, when I was trying to put together different programs and packages for people, I would say the same thing. Oh my gosh, well, everybody's so different. How can I, box anyone into a 3 or 6 or 12-month program? I mean, maybe someone needs more or less time, but that was just a story for me to stop myself,
As you were saying that, I'm thinking, or this.
Oh, Megan. Hello? We have cut out.
Oh, can you hear me?
Now I can, but you cut out after I said it was a story, and then you said something, and we missed that part.
Yeah, basically what I was saying as you were explaining that, I'm thinking, or it's just an excuse.
Yeah, totally. It is. It's just another thing. It's another BS story we tell ourselves to, you are here to serve in a certain way. You have gifts that you are meant to serve, specific people. And when you put that call out into the world, then they can see you. But right now, I feel like, that call has not really been made. I mean, it's been made here, there, dabbling and all of that. And let's do a soul session or what have you. But if you really desire, and I get that you do, and that you have a really strong intention to serve on a deeper, higher level, then yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of actually having something to offer someone. And start, it's just starting somewhere, because it'll never be perfect. Perfection is not the key or the goal. I used to do programs with people that were 3 months, and then I found that the people I worked with 3 months wasn't enough, and I had to go to 6 as a minimum. So, you just start where it's like this special zone of being comfortable and being scared at the same time.
Right. I get that completely.
Yes. So what would that be for you? What would be your offering to someone who does want to go a little bit deeper?
Oh goodness. I didn't think you'd ask me right now. I figured that'd be homework.
Well, we're just getting right into it. We're getting right into it. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. What's coming up for you now?
In all honesty, I've liked the idea of kind of having like a set number of sessions. So say the magic number is, 8, and giving kind of an overall time frame of whether it's 6 months, 9 months, or a year to use them, so that when someone just kind of has that, hey, I need to check in, I'm feeling a little off center, yay, let's have a session, no big deal. Do I need anything? Any support tools? Great. Or if something does happen, the loss of a loved one, job changes, birth of a child. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It can be a celebration too, but it gets overwhelming. And then maybe there's the need for 3 weeks in a row. Like they have that flexibility within it. So I've looked more into just a number of sessions as opposed to a time frame of sessions.
Okay. Yeah. If that's something that feels right for you and your clients, because really it's, it's what serves them the best and also what serves you the best. And there's a sweet spot there, right? You don't want to be not enjoying, what you've laid out, and you want to make sure it serves your client at the highest. So, and I encourage you just to start somewhere, and you can always shift it. It can change day by day, really.
Right.
And it can change, over time, but I do recommend having, at least one kind of set thing that you can offer someone. And I think the best place to come to approach that, which we kind of have, but I want to ask you, what is your calling here on earth right now?
I don't know how to put that into words.
No? Okay. Well, I think that would be a great place to start. I think that'd be a great place to start. And so what do you enjoy helping people with?
I really help. I've always had an incredible ability to help people calm down, to kind of gain focus or see through the fog, and then incorporate an aspect of self-love and respect, even when they feel horrible about the things they've done.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it sounds like it's, if we're just getting down to the nitty-gritty here, it's people loving themselves and accepting themselves unconditionally.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you help people with.
Yes.
Yes. Great. That's great. So say that for me. Say that out loud for me.
I help people love themselves unconditionally.
How did that feel?
It feels good.
Yeah, right? It's simple. It's clear.
Yeah, I've made that very complicated over the years.
Yeah, we tend to do that, right? Like, I need to, all the bells and whistles. And all of the things you do are aspects of that.
Yes.
Everything you do is that's the common thread through all of it, right? You want people to know that deep love for themselves. That's just amazing and shifts everything. So when you're designing or building out your programs or whatever, you want to do, whatever offerings you want to have, it's what does my person need?
Right.
Right?
Right.
And where are you finding them at? Are they at or have they been quote unquote trying to love themselves for years and just it's not happening? Where are these people? So that's another tool, right? When you're tuning in to know how to build out your programs for them.
Okay. That makes sense.
So yeah, that's definitely homework, is, the basics of just, writing out who's your person, who's your avatar, who's your ideal client. Just think of one person, and maybe you already have had them as a client, and you loved working with them and you just couldn't wait to work with them, and you enjoyed the way that it made you feel, and that they got a lot out of it. Who is that person? So that's just kind of the basics, going back to, who your client avatar is.
So as I sit here, though, taking all of this in, I keep almost like getting a little distraction of walking the talk, because I find it's easier to help others love themselves than it is for me to actually do that with myself. And to me, that feels directly connected to the fact that I can't find my shoes.
Absolutely. It is 100 million percent why you can't find your shoes. So all of these things are great, right? Building your program, doing your client avatar, these are all external things. Of course, the real work, all of that stuff comes naturally, of course, when you take the action to do it. But the self-love work, that's the number one thing for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's explore that a little bit. I know on the session we had before, we were exploring that same theme, self-love.
Absolutely.
Yep. And there were things that had happened in your life, traumas and whatnot, that you still felt maybe a little, of course, I know that you have practiced a lot of self-love and you've done a lot of work, but there's still something that's not there.
Yes.
Self-love. Yeah. And it's not that it's not there. It's not that you can't find it, or that the shoes that you can't find the shoes are on your feet. You just can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You are whole, you are complete, you are loved. That is what you are. So this notion or idea that I'm not yet whole until I love myself is just simply not true. It's the constant process that we must take on a daily basis to remember that we actually are the love. And that can come, and we can start with loving our quote unquote ourselves, right? But if we go really deep and we go straight to it, like, who is ourselves anyway? Right?
Oh my gosh.
I know. We don't have to go there, but I'm throwing it out there because when you can pull it back like that and get really big picture, it shifts your perspective pretty quickly. So here's Megan, right? Having the experience of Megan and your human body and your false identity, right? That you identify yourself with.
Right.
That the experience you're having, absolutely. And it doesn't mean it's not valid and important, and we honor that. Absolutely, we honor that. And it's so not who you are. Right?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. It's like such it's like mixing two colors of taffy together.
Well, yeah, explain, tell me more about that. I like that metaphor.
Oh my gosh. It is taffy, but it's different. There's the one component that says this is all an illusion. It's an experience to have. Yet at the same time, there's that other color that's like, yeah, but this is awesome, or this totally sucks, or, whatever emotion that is being experienced in that moment. Yet it's still all the same thing. It's separate, but it's not. It's like having the blue taffy and the pink taffy, and all of a sudden there's this purple lavender color in the middle that's like, yay, we're all hanging out. But yet we're all different flavor, different smell, different taste, different color, but we're all taffy.
We're all just taffy. Yeah, absolutely. You're infinite. You are an infinite being. That's it. There's no, like, infinite is infinite. There's not like, oh, sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not.
Right.
Or part of me, this part of me is, this part of my life is, but this part isn't. Once you completely disidentify with your persona, with ego, whatever people call it, ego, persona, false identity, then you can bring yourself back and you go up, 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 and you're like, okay, wait, I'm my higher self. Great. Okay. And beyond that, I'm God. Great. Beyond that, I'm what's before God. Oh my God, what is that? Right? That's like the absolute. That's what created creation. That is what you are. And it seems really like out there and theoretical and all of that, but it can be so practical. You can bring it into your daily human life in such a practical way. And people might be wondering, what does this have to do with self-love? But well, you are the love. Like, so then who are you loving?
Right.
It's like you get to love a little child. That is a tiny little expression of who you really are.
It's so incredibly simple, yet we make it so, or I'm making it incredibly complex.
Mm-hmm. We
Hmm.
do. Well, it's because we're human and we're here to have messiness and experience all of this, and really so that we can remember that it's not who we are, and that who we are is, you know, an incredible, infinite, amazing being that creates everything. So then it becomes a choice daily, but more than that, moment to moment. You know, when those things come up around, you know, you're not loving yourself in some way, then you get to choose to go, oh yeah, you know, I did this really wrong, or I still regret this that happened. You know, you can choose to go down that path, or you can say, oh, well, wait, who's the one that's actually experiencing this emotion right now? Is it me?
Hmm.
So we can get practical if you want to give me, for instance,
Oh goodness. For instance, you know, I
or
have
an,
a
you know,
right. No, I have a great example. It's so simple, yet for some reason I make it really incredibly challenging. Um, Over the years, I have developed some food allergies. Okay, so don't eat the foods that trigger allergies. And you would be amazed at how I'll just ignore that, or I get mad that I have the food allergies, or you know, irritated that I have to spend so much time planning what I'm going to eat or how I'm going to eat. Like it's not convenient. And because luckily it is not an allergy that is life threatening, often I'll just be in a state of discomfort. And then I get mad at myself because it's like, well, just eat correctly and you won't feel, you know, so crappy or you know, fatigued or lethargic or foggy headed. Um, and then it's like I'll go into that same, you know, pattern of, well, if I loved myself truly the way that I talk about people loving themselves, I wouldn't do this. And then there are times that I can be very nurturing in the moment of, you know, it's all right to be exactly how you are, but that those moments are really very, very small and don't happen often. It's more so that beating, you know, myself up over it because I know better, and the food that I need to eat is completely attainable. It's just not super convenient when I'm busy, but okay, so plan ahead. Like, you know, I can make it as difficult or as easy as I want, and I tend to make it really difficult.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that is actually a great example, and I have a few things to say about that that might surprise you. But so yeah, whatever is happening in the moment, right? You know, your body in the past has experienced this reaction when you eat, you know, X, and
Hmm.
so it makes sense to go, oh, okay, well, say it's wheat. You know, wheat
Right.
does not do me right, so I'm not gonna eat that. And it is, you know, self love to say, okay, I'm gonna avoid that and I'm gonna eat something else instead. And when it's like it's almost like a catch 22, you know, that paradox of when you, because the food allergies, I'm not saying they're not happening in your body, but it's what I'm getting is that it's a distraction for you.
Hmm.
It's what you've created for yourself so that you don't actually have to deal with what's underneath it, right?
Hmm.
It's there's probably so much time you spend thinking about your food allergy, you know, thinking about what you're going to eat, preparing for it, all of this. So it's like this really subconscious like creation that you have so that you don't have to do the actual other work of self-love. And at the same time, it offers you the opportunity in every moment to practice self-love, if that makes sense.
Right. No, absolutely. I think I have to laugh because I think if I would just spend the time taking, you know, the action that's more in line with we'll call it my truth in eating in this moment. You know, staying away from wheat. We'll go with that example. instead of if I actually just took the appropriate action as opposed to thinking about I'm so upset that I have to take this action and that's even a hurdle for me, and then it's an illusion anyway, and it's all just I'm a spiritual
Right.
being that should be beyond this because my
Right.
skills are so awesome. I mean, I will go down this path. And
Yes.
then all of a sudden I'm like, well, now I'm just eating the mac and cheese because I want to eat mac and cheese. And it takes 2 minutes to make it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can laugh at myself at the same time, be so upset with myself, and then just really enjoy my mac and cheese because, hey, I'm in the moment, so let's at least enjoy it. We don't need to ruin it. It's like 10
Yeah.
people at one time. It's crazy.
Oh, totally. Yeah, all the multiple personalities coming in,
Yes.
having their own little chime in, like, oh, do it. No, don't do it because
Right.
right. And so yeah, it's this balance of like accepting what is okay. So right now I know that this is how my body is functioning. So, and also being open to the idea that that's not forever. It may not always be that way. And in my experience, once you fully realize, have that self-realization of who and what you are, then those things naturally fall away anyway, because
Mhm.
we don't need them anymore, right? We only have something that's showing up in our life because we still, for whatever reason, need it to support us somehow, some way, to support our experience,
Mhm.
right? So what is the benefit for you in having these food allergies right now? What do you think that is? What is the gift that it gives you?
Oh, the gift that it gives me is the distraction aspect, which provides a level of protection for not getting involved. And then, therefore, I wouldn't be helping more people, and then I can never disappoint anybody.
Good. So you've thought about this.
I've
Yeah.
had these conversations with myself.
Yeah.
It's really incredible, but it's like you said, the shoes are already on my feet. I just don't see them. And to me,
Yeah.
that's the same thought pattern with exactly what I just said. It's like I know why the obstacle is there, yet I still don't make those changes so that I can engage more, have that greater energy, that clarity, and help more people because there's this fear of disappointing, I guess.
Disappointing another person, a client.
Another person. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're disappointed in yourself.
Right.
Sounds like. Yeah. So a couple things offshooting from that. The first one is if we waited till we were quote unquote perfect to help anybody else, it would never happen, right? So
Right.
that's just like moot right there. It's like, okay, you help people where you are, and there's always people who are at different places on the timeline. So you can always be serving people no matter what, right?
Yes.
And the second thing is, I know you know all this stuff. So if you're really, really honest with yourself, what is stopping you?
I really don't know how to answer that.
Okay. Well, I know that there is a part of you that knows the answer, or what the answer is right now, right? That could change at any time. So let's just try to tap into it a little bit. And it's okay if nothing comes up. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
Okay. So I'd like you to, and if anybody, people listening, you can try this exercise with us. So go ahead and close the eyes. And begin to just notice the breath moving in and out of the body. And feeling yourself as Megan. Feeling all the aspects of Megan, the thoughts, the emotions, the experiences, the past, just bringing all of that into your being right now. And just accepting everything that Megan is, and loving everything that Megan is. Now I'd like you just to imagine or notice the energy that expands beyond Megan. And you can now see Megan in a bubble, and you have stepped outside of that bubble as higher self of Megan, expand itself. And you see this beautiful human, this beautiful being that's there with all of her fears and doubts and joys, everything that makes up Megan. And you just notice it without judgment, no judgment at all. Knowing how much you love and support her and whatever she does. There's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. You know that no matter what, she can't screw up her life. It's impossible. And when she asks, you're there to help her out, to guide her, show her the way. And then I want you to, as much as you can, expand the energy beyond the higher self. So now we've got Megan, we've got higher self, and now for these moments, we are experiencing God. We are God. And you see, you can see the higher self of Megan. You can see Megan, and you just feel so much love, so much gratitude for your own creation, how perfect it is, how it's exactly how it's supposed to be, not one hair different. Then we're going to pull back even more and expand as much as you can. Just expand. And I want you to let all of these constructs go. And I want you to just experience for a moment the vastness of nothingness, of everything. No beginning, no end, no front, no back, no quality of any kind. That is what you are. Now I would like you to filter back into God, God's state of love and light and everything, all creation, filtering down into Megan's higher self. And then as all of these things, as what and who you really are, come back into the body of Megan. Take a deep breath and keep your eyes closed for now. I'd like you to ask yourself, your higher self, right now, what is holding Megan back from creating her life on purpose? What is holding Megan back from really remembering who she is? And if Megan really knew, really 1,000,000% knew that she couldn't screw it up no matter what would she really do? And whenever you're ready, you can slowly come back into Megan's body, back into the chair and the room that you're in, moving the fingers and the toes, feeling the blood circulating. And whenever you're ready, you can come back and open your eyes or not, up to you. And if there's anything that came through, feel free to share that.
My sensation of I would probably laugh more possible because I laugh all the time. But more in that idea of don't sweat the small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's still room for releasing the things that I'm allowing to get in the way, these little nuances of I don't want to discredit the game that I've created, but it really doesn't matter. They're like extra pieces in a game that are holding me back instead of moving forward. So like the sensation of, we'll just laugh them away, let them go. And I think there's this, I don't even know if it's like a component of surprising myself to such an extent of what could possibly be. It's like I've not even allowed myself to go there to think about it, like the impact that I really could make. I've used the fear of disappointing people without giving any thought to, but what if you didn't? What if you actually helped them beyond what they even thought was possible?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the space that I've not ever allowed myself to go to because I never named it until this moment.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, and if you were having that, those thoughts coming up, then that's, and how does it feel when you think that? What if I helped and served people beyond what they even knew they needed or wanted? How does it feel to think that?
It has it has like, oh my gosh, well then what the heck am I waiting for? Like
Right?
these people, they're looking for you, they're needing your help, they don't even know how well you can help them, they don't even know what to ask for because they're held, scared, held back, held up. They're nervous of their own incredibleness. I love the word awesomeness, their own awesomeness.
Yeah.
And tapping into that. So there's that almost like a mutual understanding and the hesitation. So how could I help them get there if I didn't recognize the other side of it myself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that feels like an incredible breakthrough.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And it feels good. And I feel it. I do. I feel it. I feel that I feel the truth in it. And I feel the lightness in you. And it feels good because it's the truth.
Right.
Because you are here to serve those people. And only you can serve those people in the way that you can, in the way that they need. Only you. So if you're not doing it, then they're left floating around waiting for Megan. right? And it's okay if it doesn't happen, you know, then it doesn't happen. There again, there's no good or bad, but if you're here to do it, you might as well do it, and you might as well enjoy it and serve people at the highest level that you are here to do, that only you can do.
Right.
So when I ask what has held Megan back so far from doing that, it's the fear of basically not being good enough to do it. Yeah, right. And so that is the perspective of, you know, it's actually about Megan, but it's not, is it?
No.
It's not about you at all. It's what, if you can get yourself out of the way enough for source to come through you to help these people, and trusting that that's exactly what's going to happen, because it is. And that's the work.
Can I throw out a little it's just another one of those things that make me go,
Yes, throw it out.
And without, because I can understand where this is coming from. And yet I feel like I've already gone beyond that, but at the same, so I almost feel like I'm answering my own question, but I still want to throw it out there. I'm an only child, and I had a wonderfully complex relationship with my mother, who 7 years ago committed suicide. And there was such an incredible understanding within myself because of things that happened in college. I'm 44 now, so this was a lifelong struggle for her, and it was part of my world from birth till her passing. But in college, we went through a phase that I was states away, didn't have a car, and I knew, I had to make that distinction that any choice she ever made was her choice, and I was not responsible for it. And that really helped me get through, certain phases that she and I went through together. So even 7 years ago, when unfortunately that did happen, there was this incredible understanding, loving and nurturing experience within myself that it was not my fault. But there was that undertow, like that riptide current of, you weren't good enough, Megan. And that's why she followed through with it. And so I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, I've not gone beyond that fear of not being good enough and disappointing people and it being incredibly detrimental. But I hadn't gone beyond and thought the opposite. But what if the opposite happened? Not the suicide, not that even the symbolism of a death didn't have to necessarily even be a physical reality thing, but the symbolism in it. But what if a great birth, a great awakening happened in somebody? Like I never took it further than that. So I feel like there could still be lingering, is it the shame? Is it the guilt? Is it all of it? It's my mom. That was a horrible thing to have happen. Even though I know in my heart I did all that I could do, there's always that not good enough undertow to it. And I just wonder if I need to spend some more time even healing and connecting with that nurturing side to heal that pain. And that's somehow been a thread through all of this too. that was heavy.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. No, thank you. Absolutely. That totally, I mean, it totally ties in to, and I know I keep talking about, talking about you in the third person, but I do that on purpose. But for Megan's story, yeah, that is a huge component of Megan's story, right? Like,
Right.
mother commits suicide and you carry the guilt of, oh my God, what could I have done? And I think that's absolutely like a normal, human response when that happens with a loved one. And you're right. When you are experiencing, those feelings and those thoughts, that Megan has, it sounds like there's some, self-love that can happen for Megan around that, and just like, it's okay that you've had those thoughts. I still love you, and then if we're going, that's the work that you can do here on this level. And I also invite you to go, if you're ready or if you want, which, I know that you are totally ready for this, but to go even beyond that and look at it from that perspective of higher self, source, infinite. So is what happened with your mom, you use the word unfortunate. And of course, for the human beings, yes, it's unfortunate. Of course, it's not something we wish to happen. But can you see the whole experience as being fortunate in some way on that grander level of, we are not these bodies anyway, so it doesn't matter, right?
Oh, absolutely. My first thought when I found out that it had happened truly was, oh my God, the torture is over. I mean, she was so troubled. Like the immediate effect it had on me was relief for her that the struggle was over. So absolutely, I can see that component of it.
It was her way of healing, right?
Yes.
That was the way she chose to heal. And it absolutely had nothing to do with you. And that on a level of intellect, that had nothing to do with you, right? It's just addressing those deeper aspects of, it really didn't have anything to do with you. And I love you even for thinking that it did.
Right.
Right? Right? I can love the one who still feels that way, and know that it's not you. It's not who you are. So you can really take the emotion that's moving through you around that, the guilt or whatever, the not enoughness, and you can separate it from the story, whenever you want. That's also a choice. Just completely separate the two. Oh, there's this emotion moving through. It's actually not good or bad. Some people might call it guilt, but it's not good or bad. It's what it is. And then I can say, I don't need to have a story around that. That's the level of owning who you really are and taking your power back.
Right.
But yeah, it sounds like it definitely is, can correlate to this feeling of, oh, I don't want to let anybody down and not help them.
Right. Because and not to make light of it, but it's like the extreme, like, oh my goodness, I let them down, and then they go kill themselves.
Right.
That's a horrible thing to have in that strange way, the ability to relate disappointment to.
Yeah, sure.
And I really don't truly feel anyone would ever be so disappointed in a service that they would do that. But I never really put the depth of the block, that challenge that we're talking about, to and attached it to that. It was just kind of on a surface of not being good enough. And that's where a lot of that stems from. So no, and I'm sitting here thinking too, it's like I really have never had anyone not be happy with anything I've created or any of the sessions that have been experienced. Yet that's been such a fear. It's like, oh, I made the bracelet too small. Okay, we'll make another one with the same pattern, just add a few more links. Okay, great. Like, that's been the biggest disappointment, like, oh no.
Yeah.
so it's really, something that's incredibly correctable.
Yeah, it's just a story. It's just
Right,
a
right,
BS story that you can go, oh, wait, that's connecting back to the story about my mother, which isn't true anyway. And it's just totally crap. So,
right,
not to
right,
make light of it, but it is. It has nothing to do with you and who you really are and what you bring and what your gifts are. And the idea of perfection in anything, is also just not real, right? What is perfect
right,
anyway?
right,
So
exactly.
yeah. Yeah. And I think it too, it's just once you begin to put yourself out there and take clients and, it's like you can sit all day long and do this work and be like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. But then that's a disservice to yourself and to everybody else. So even if you still have some of these stories that you're holding on to, it doesn't mean you can't start.
Right, right.
And just fine tune your way as you go. That's how everybody, well, that's how we do it. And in business, it's
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
you find your way step by step, day by day. And you are someone who trusts in the universe,
Yes.
right? And this is no exception.
Right.
Yeah. Yay, universe.
Right. Oh, we make it so complex. I love it.
I know, we really do. We really do. And we can, and like you said, it's easy for you, it's easy for us as, as what we do as coaches and healers to unravel it for someone else, right? And then doing the same for yourself, sometimes we need help. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I
Mm-hmm.
really acknowledge you for reaching out for that help and connecting. I think
Thank
that's huge. Yeah, yeah. So we started the session. You wanted to find your shoes. You wanted to find your shoes,
Right.
and whatever that means for you now. Do you feel like you can at least see them, even if it's just a little bit?
No, actually, they've changed. They're now the ruby red slippers. They're
Woo,
sparkly,
woo.
they're dazzly, and I feel like I can skip down the yellow brick road, which I do think that was supposed to be a representation of gold. I know
Oh,
that that movie has a lot of meaning behind it that I've never
yes.
really followed through with, but I feel like the path is better lit, and there's a level of excitement, even not knowing exactly what's around the corner. That's part of the adventure. I don't feel so, I feel better equipped. I feel like, oh yeah, there they are. There's the shoes. Now I can do this. And my goodness, if for some reason I were to stumble, Dorothy wasn't alone. She had support. I know I'm not alone. I know how to find help and reach out to people like you and my own, higher self and God source energy. So very, very cool.
So awesome. Oh my gosh. So give me what is your next best step? What are you going to take action on?
Oh, my next
First.
best step is,
Yes.
oh my God, I feel like I have this fantastic avalanche of
Yay.
stuff I want to write down and on my little notebook here with exactly what you're saying. Just start. So, coming up with what's a good package for me to just even present to somebody. What would make sense to have a little bit of a foundation yet offer some flexibility, and really pull in the different tools that I have to offer. I feel like it's all dancing on like musical notes, like sheets of paper. So it's like it's all coming together into a song. I feel like I just need to write for a while.
Good. Yay. Well, I'm going to let you go and just journal and write and create, your action steps. I'm excited for you, Megan. And
Yes,
yay. And please share with me,
absolutely.
how everything is going. And I know we're going to stay connected. So
Definitely. This has been huge. This really, oh my goodness. definitely life transforming. What's the question you have in your little, like, what would make this, what is it? It's like a miracle or something.
What would well, yes, what would make this a really powerful session for you?
Yes, we did it. I feel it. I like my cheeks hurt. I'm smiling so much.
Yay, I'm so happy.
Yes,
I'm so
yes.
happy.
And I definitely will follow up. So you'll see it anyway. I
Oh
know
yeah,
you will.
I will. I will. I know we're connected on Facebook and
Yes,
stuff like
yes.
that. So thank
Wonderful.
you, Megan. You have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening,
Thank
and
you. You
we will
too.
connect soon.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Tara. I love you. Thank you.
I love you. Okay.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, welcome back, folks. Thank you so much for staying till the end, for listening to the entire session. I absolutely know that if you listened to my session with Megan, that you got so much out of it. I know that. So thank you so much. And I wanted to give you the opportunity for more support. If you are feeling like, yeah, I want to dig into some stuff for myself, I want to explore why, I'm having this challenge, or why this might be happening, or how I can really just thrive as a human being on planet Earth, right? And navigate some of these, quote unquote challenges that I'm experiencing right now. So you can go to my website at TaraCyel, TarahCyel.com, and sign up for a next best step session under any of the work with me pages. So you just sign up for that, and it's a complimentary session that we will explore what challenges you're having right now, what your next best step is, and connecting you to that part of yourself that has all the quote unquote answers, right? Because there is a part of you that has all of that inside of you, whether you believe it or know it. It's just about getting connected to that part. So that is what we will do in that session. And you can go to my website for that. And also you can sign up for the 29 signs. You're probably an alien, aka galactic being. And you can join your tribe where you can read those signs and go, oh yeah, I'm totally not alone. There's millions of people on Earth who feel this way. Holy crap, that's amazing. And then go over to my Facebook group, my private Facebook group, Awaken Your Infinite Nature, and you can join us for support and to ask questions. And I am personally in that group moderating it on a daily basis. So I can't wait to see you over there. If you are interested, I'm going to be doing an infinity party training live in Honolulu coming up in October. More details to come. And that will be live, but I'm going to do recording, and so I'm going to be able to offer that after I do the live piece digitally, and that will be coming again in October or November for you. So if you're interested in that, you can go to TarahCyel.com/infinityinterest. Yes, /infinityinterest. And one more thing. Oh yes, I'm so excited about this. I've been just buzzing with anticipation and excitement for like a couple months since we started talking about this, but I am joining with 3 other amazing, super powered humans, and we are putting together a retreat on the North Shore of Oahu the very last weekend of April 2018. That's the April 26th through the 30th, and we just came back from our tour of the house of the property that we're holding this retreat in. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is so amazing. I was like, can we just move in right now? It's got just state of the art everything. It's all these little nooks, and the grounds are so beautiful, and it's just the most perfect place for a retreat, to hold space, to transform, and to do this work. So I don't have any concrete details for that yet, other than the date and the location, but I will be sharing that with you as soon as I know. And we are in the process of creating all of those things, all of those tools for you online, so you can go check it out and sign up right away, because our spots are very, very limited for the retreat. But I'm so excited. Just wanted to share it with you because I have so much excitement about it and so much light around it, and I can't keep it in. So thank you so much for listening, for watching, for being part of this galactic tribe. I love you. I really do. And I can't wait to connect with you soon. Okay. So much aloha. Bye.